Have you ever wondered why some conversations flow smoothly while others end in conflict? Why do we behave differently when interacting with different people? The answers to these intriguing questions lie in the realm of transactional analysis, or TA, a theory of personality and communication developed by psychiatrist Eric Berne in the mid-20th century. At its core, TA posits that our personality is made up of three ego states: the parent, the adult, and the child. The parent ego state embodies our ingrained voice of authority, absorbed from our parents and other influences during childhood. It's the internal echo of rules, norms, and values that guide our behavior. The adult ego state represents our ability to think and determine action for ourselves based on the here and now. It's our rational, problem-solving self. The child ego state, on the other hand, is the home of our feelings, desires, and impulses that were prominent during our early years. It's our spontaneous, emotional self. Each of these ego states influences how we communicate and interact with others. Our conversations, or transactions as Berne calls them, can be seen as exchanges between different ego states. Transactions fall into three categories: complementary, crossed, and ulterior. Complementary transactions occur when the conversation flows naturally, with both parties responding from the expected ego states. Cross transactions happen when an unexpected ego state responds, leading to miscommunication or conflict. And ulterior transactions have hidden psychological implications, where the overt conversation differs from the covert message. Understanding these concepts of TA can help us navigate our relationships more effectively. We can become more aware of our own ego states, better understand the transactions we engage in, and adjust our communication patterns to foster more constructive interactions. To recap, transactional analysis is a tool that helps us understand our personality structure through the concept of ego states and the dynamics of our interactions through transactions. By applying these principles, we can improve our relationships and become more effective communicators. So next time you find yourself in a confusing conversation, remember the principles of TA. Identify your ego state, understand the transaction, and you might just find a way to turn the tide of the conversation. Now that we have an understanding of transactional analysis and its application, let's delve a little deeper and look at some examples that will help us better understand these ego states in real-life scenarios. Firstly, the parent ego state. Imagine you're at a public park and you see a person scolding someone for littering, emphasizing the importance of rules and cleanliness. This is a classic example of the parent ego state, where the person is expressing norms, values, and behaviors taught by parent figures. Next, the adult ego state. Suppose you're at a store and you see a person comparing prices, reading product reviews, and making a rational decision about a purchase. This person is in the adult ego state, using logical thinking and factual data to make decisions. Lastly, consider the child ego state. Picture a scenario where a person throws a tantrum at a restaurant because they didn't get the table they wanted. This is an example of the child ego state, where the person is acting out emotions or impulses that were repressed in childhood. These examples should give you a clearer picture of the parent, adult, and child ego states. Remember, understanding these states is the first step to improving your communication and relationships through transactional analysis. To help solidify our understanding of these ego states, let's move on to a graphical representation. Picture a circle divided into three sections, each representing one of the ego states: parent, adult, and child. The parent section is filled with norms, values, and rules. The adult section is filled with logic, facts, and rational decision-making. The child section is filled with emotions, impulses, and desires from childhood. As we move along this circle, we can see how these states interact and influence our behaviors and decisions. For instance, when the parent state is dominant, it can suppress the child state, leading to a lack of emotional expression. Conversely, when the child state is dominant, it can override the adult state, leading to impulsive decisions. This graph should not only help you visualize the ego states, but also how they interact with each other. Remember, being aware of these states and their interactions is key to improving your communication and relationships through transactional analysis. Having understood the concept of ego states, let's delve into some practical examples of transactions. First, let's consider a complementary transaction. Picture a classroom setting. A teacher, operating from the parent ego state, instructs a student who is in the child ego state. The teacher says, "Please open your textbooks to page 42. The student complies and replies, "Yes, ma'am." This is a smooth transaction as the communication lines match. Next, let's explore a crossed transaction. Imagine an individual functioning from the adult ego state, attempting to have a rational conversation with someone in the throes of a tantrum, clearly operating from the child ego state. The adult says, "Can we discuss this calmly?" The child responds, "You don't care about me at all." The lines of communication cross, leading to a breakdown in the transaction. Lastly, we'll look at an ulterior transaction. This involves a person in the adult ego state saying something that sounds pleasant, but there's a hidden insult indicating the operation of the child ego state. For instance, someone says, "I love how you can just wear anything," implying a lack of fashion sense in the recipient. These examples should help you understand the different types of transactions and how the ego states play a crucial role in them. Finally, let's visualize these transactions with a graph. Picture a diagram with 3 circles, each representing an ego state: parent, adult, and child. Now imagine arrows connecting these circles, indicating the flow of communication. For a complementary transaction, there's a straight line from parent to child, indicating a smooth flow of communication. Next, for a cross transaction, visualize an arrow going from the adult to child, but the return arrow veers off, indicating a disruption in communication. Lastly, for a utilitarian transaction, imagine a double-headed arrow between adult and child, indicating a hidden message or dual meaning. This graph should help you visualize the different types of transactions and their interactions. Understanding this will further enhance your grasp of transactional analysis, enabling you to identify and improve your interpersonal communications. Now that we have a firm grasp on the basics of transactional analysis, it's time to explore why this theory holds significant importance in our lives. Transactional analysis is a powerful tool that provides us with a lens to scrutinize our own behavior and communication patterns. Moreover, transactional analysis is not just about improving communication, it's also about personal growth and development. It encourages self-awareness, self-management, and the ability to empathize with and understand others. By mastering transactional analysis, we can become more effective communicators, better understand our own needs and motivations, and foster healthier relationships. So, transactional analysis is not just a theory, but a practical tool for personal and professional growth. It's a key to unlocking a deeper understanding of ourselves and others, facilitating more meaningful and productive interactions. We've covered a lot of ground today, delving deep into the captivating world of transactional analysis. We've learned about ego states, those dynamic parts of our personality that interact and engage in transactions. We've seen how these transactions play out in our everyday lives, influencing our communication and relationships. We've also discussed the practical application of transactional analysis. By recognizing our own ego states and the transactions that occur, we can work towards improving our communication skills, fostering healthier relationships, and promoting personal growth. But remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to explore and understand in transactional analysis. I encourage you to continue your journey of self-discovery and interpersonal understanding. Keep applying what you've learned today in your interactions and observe the changes. Remember, the journey of understanding ourselves and others is ongoing. The beauty of transactional analysis lies in its practicality and applicability. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep growing with transactional analysis. It's a tool for life, a guide to better communication, and a pathway to healthier relationships. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Thank you so much for watching the Lifestyle Bliss channel. If you enjoyed this video, found some valuable wardrobe ideas, and want to see more content like this, please hit that like button and share it with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll know exactly when a new video is posted. Your support means the world to us, and we're excited to bring you even more great content. Until next time, stay inspired and exploring towards a more fulfilling and blissful lifestyle with your new skills in transactional analysis. This is the first part of this series. Bless your hearts and see you in the next video.